Welcome to another mind-blowing session at Global Agro Connect podcast on YouTube with Aka Joshua Salvation, the Agro King. Stay tuned. Yeah, hello guys. I am Aka Joshua Salvation, and I'm going to be talking today about something that I believe would be very important to our personal development and our growth. I believe most people get it very wrong. I don't know if it's like that with you, but I believe several persons get it very wrong here. Mm, that's before I dive in, please subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media at on Facebook at Global Agro Connect and on Instagram at gac.2020. So sorry, I might not actually um, deliver clearly, but I believe what I have to say will really be very important to everyone listening. It just came off my head now, and I decided let me talk about it. I believe someone has to hear this. Most times we actually look at ourselves and we'll be like, I'm not really making headways. I'm not really breaking barriers. I'm not really touching as much lives as I ought to. I'm not really I'm making as much impact. This is not what I bargained for. I signed up to make this amount of money, and now I couldn't even make a dime. Hello. Growth is more than just making a certain amount of money. Now, I tell people when it is your time, or when you've done all, or when you've reached that time to earn that amount, it will come. It just requires you to be consistent and to be persistent. I look at several people, they try something for 6 months and it doesn't work out as they expected. Now, you're trying or you're learning a skill and you finish the skill after 3 months and you're using 3 months to try to gather clients and the clients aren't forthcoming. Yes, it's not that you don't know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, but you discover that whenever you look or whenever you try to um, do something for someone or whenever you try to practice on that your niche or whenever you try to do something innovative on that your niche, you get through with it. But the only thing is money isn't flowing in. For the fact that money isn't flowing in is not enough for you to say you aren't growing. If you are able, now let's imagine you are, or let me use this instance. Yeah, there was a time I was in the network marketing sector, and as a young boy of 18 years old, I got in and I started. Then I wouldn't say I was introverted because I don't know. I don't believe I'm introverted because when it comes to speaking out, I speak out. But when it comes to keeping quiet, I keep quiet. So I don't really believe I'm introverted. Yes, I love staying indoors, but I don't believe that makes me introverted. Now, and I'm not extroverted anyways. But this, how would I say it? I got in and I started, and it was, to me, I was just seeing the millions, the motivations, the speeches, the international coaches, everything. Like being in the position where you see young persons like you making money, and you yourself, like, you see yourself growing, right? You see yourself deriving pleasure. You see yourself being better at what you do. That was same with me. Like I saw myself being better. I couldn't talk out before, but now I started speaking out. I started giving trainings, I started giving mentorship programs, I started going face to face. Now I spoke to people at several ministries, and I realized that while speaking, most times they got products from me, and most times they refused to sign up but decide to purchase the product, right? But there was something that was lacking: closing. That was the problem. Yeah, I succeeded in closing very few deals, but several of them was not successful. Yes, I could sell because I could talk. I could convince you to get the product immediately, and you would get it if the money is in your pocket. Now, to me, I believed I wasn't growing because my major aim for getting in was for the money. You know, young mentality. Everyone just wants to make the money. You're seeing everybody flaunting their cash, their new cars, young people flaunting how many group members or team members they have in their group, and you're all looking at yourself and be like, "What? Why is mine different?" But it is not. You are growing, but you don't know you're growing. That was my case. Now, few years ago, Joshua could not speak to the microphone. Like, I was really scared. Like, nobody's looking at me. I was to do the recording with my phone, but I was really scared because I believed I would make mistakes. But now I don't care. I just have to get my voice heard. And within that time, I started building that public speaking skill unknowingly. Now, we were trained on public speaking. I never knew it was public speaking. I just knew they were training us to go deliver. I never knew those trainings had positive impact in me. Gradually, I started finding it very free to do videos online. I started finding it very free to actually record my voices, and I found it very free to actually talk to people better, and I could talk for a longer hour, and I could deliver. I find it very, very easy to communicate with people online, even people that were bigger and had made so much than me. I could communicate with them online without shivering, without breaking in tones, or without fumbling, like we say it. To me, I did not actually look at that as growth. I looked at that as, "Hey, it's one of those things." But all I saw as growth then was the money. Until later on, I left. While I left, I realized that unknown to me, I had developed public speaking skill. And I found it very easy to do videos, to talk, to preach about what I love doing. Alright? My passion has always been agriculture, and the reason I entered network marketing was to make money to pursue my agricultural dreams. But hello, I didn't actually need money to do it. It was a friend of mine who contacted me. I was like, "Josh, your passion has always been agriculture. Pursue your passion." And I had to turn back and be like, "No, I think I've had enough of this." And a young guy who has been, who was in the field for a year and 6 months, almost 2 years. Let's even say 2 years. I mean, network marketing, and you didn't make much. All you were just making was just enough to get you by and by. And you looked at yourself and be like, "Is this what I've come to do in my life?" And the guy saw that my passion was dying off because of my love or my desire to attain wealth. And he looked at me and was like, "I should pursue my passion." That was when I realized that. He said this. He was like, "Joshua, it pays you to make little from what you love doing and be happy with it than to make a whole lot of money from something you don't love doing and be sad all your life." Several passions, several people have died with what they love doing. Several people have died without harnessing their potential, without giving out to the world what they have to give. And that is why the development is slow. The lives I was meant to touch, if I hadn't stopped, or if I hadn't refocused or turned my back to that and focused on what I loved doing, the over 800 persons that have benefited from my training today wouldn't have been able to benefit from it. So most times in life, what we actually visualize as growth might not be what is growth. Making money is not necessarily growth, right? Personal development is growth. Skill acquisition is growth. You developing new habits is growth. You leaving some old bad habits is growth. You learning new skills is growth. Now, there are several other things that should be regarded as growth that we young persons are not seeing as growth. So, and I believe when we start seeing these things as growth, when we start looking at ourselves and be like, "Okay, I was like this yesterday, and today I am now here." Okay, I couldn't talk to so person yesterday, and today I'm now here. I was scared of speaking to this and this person yesterday. Today I am very confident to speak to them. I wasn't able to write a proper sales letter yesterday or a few weeks back, but now I could write at least a manageable sales letter. Now, there are several things that should be characterized as growth. And when we start seeing those things as growth, when we start feeling content with what we have, when we start visualizing ourselves as non-losers but winners in whatever we place our hands onto, then achieving success will be easier. I don't know how you define success. I don't know how you define you attaining your success, but I believe achieving success is growth. Once you're growing, once you're positively developing, then you are achieving success. Thank you very much for listening. This is just a few minutes of my time and what I actually have had upstairs to actually talk about. Okay, it was just bothering me, and I said, let me let it out. Let me let people hear about it. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed it, do not forget subscribe to the channel. Follow us on social media: Facebook at Global Agri Connect, Instagram at GAC.2020. Enjoy the rest of your day. Once again, thanks for listening. Goodbye.